Howdy, howdy, howdy. Need the headsets. One second, I'm gonna get feedback. 1 second. That's better. How's everyone doing today? It's the day. The 20th of August. POE2 reveal later this evening. I cannot wait. I'm genuinely very excited. I'm like a child. Christmas Eve. A grown man, excited. Hopefully goes well, especially with all those leaks going around. Let me lower the music a little. Have it in the background for a bit. Yeah, there was a truckload of leaks. We'll be discussing it a little bit on this early stream. This is my first stream of the day. Gonna go for around an hour or two. Just to chat. No gaming this one. And then I'll be back on later. Around 8 o'clock. So from 8 to 9. Play a bit of KallTorak's Rapid Shot. Having great fun with that. And then we'll gear up for GGG's reveal. And then the cool Q&A with Ziggy and Mark and Jonathan. And then I'm thinking about I'll just stream watching Rax discuss the patch notes. Because out of all the content creators, he's my favorite on how he breaks down the patch notes. Patch, not batch. Patch notes for POE, Diablo, etc. etc. He's so cool at that. So I'm sure that's okay to do, to stream someone else running down patch notes on their stream. I'm sure I'll be called out if I'm making any mistakes. So yeah, how's everyone doing today? Hopefully all good. The weather in Ireland has dipped a little, which is good for me. I'm not as warm in the gaff. Because the last week or two, whenever I go stream, it's like 35 degrees. And it's unbearable. I have my Monster, which I don't really drink anymore. But I said I'd go with that. Hold on 1 second. I think my better half has just come in. So let me just put the Be Right Back screen on. Sorry about that. Real life and stuff. So where were we? Let me lower down the music a bit. So yeah, super hype day. Loads of people are firing up their streams now, getting ready. Gonna be streaming all the way up till 9 PM Irish time anyway. I believe that's when it's gonna start. The big reveal. So the plan for this first stream is first look at the latest teaser from GGG's last night. Then look at a couple of content creators' videos from this morning. See what's going on. And then quickly run over the leaks. And then that'll be it. And then, as I said, I'll be back on later on, around 8 o'clock. Around an hour of POE2 to the KallTorak's rapid shot build, which I'm having loads of fun with. And then we'll look at the reveal together. Should be fun. So let me just stop this music more down. So here is GGG's latest.
Here, you will survive, no matter the outcome. Step forth into your mountain home and seal the door. If all else fails, the Var must live on.
What you reckon, guys?
Here, you will survive.
Is that a new area? Is that Act 4? Or you reckon a new ascendancy?
No matter the outcome.
That does look like a big door going into ascendancy. Hard to say. Looks cool. Could be a new area.
Step forth into your mountain home and seal the door. If all else fails, the Var must live on.
Cool. Very cool.
Oh, howdy all, grab yourself.
This is SirGog. Absolutely love this guy. The information he provides is phenomenal. So this video is because he's based over New Zealand, Australia, that time frame. So it's my understanding when all the leaks fell down or was released or fell or the community found out about it, and SirGog was asleep. So we won't watch the full hour and 36, but let's see what he says.
Of a drink, it is time for some Path of Exile 2 discussion. Not just discussion today, we have some very, very, very substantial leaks that I have put a link to down in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube.
Just so you know, that's how we're gonna end on the stream. I have this URL open.
And if you are watching it over on Twitch, then you can type !leaks into chat and you will get an auto mod response, I believe. I hope I've got that set up correctly so that you'll be able to find that there. Of course, if you're watching this up...
Just realized I'm covering this cam. That's not cool. Handsome man.
To the fact you won't necessarily be able to do that, but you'll be able to at least have a look at everything that we've got here. Now, this is all hosted over on the Preemptive Leaks 0.3.0 mega thread on the Path of Exile 2 subreddit. There was a huge leak from a French gaming publication while I was asleep last night, so I feel like this happened something like 11 hours ago. If you have already seen other coverage...
And before I went live for the Gamescom reaction, I was actually watching Gazi's stream, and he was made aware of it. He pinged GGGs straight away. He was like puzzling, discussing with himself, will I make any content, will I not, and so on and so forth. But he decided not to. I just read out a few of the links, out of respect for GGGs, because he's been dealing with them 10 plus years or whatever. But it was so cool, him pondering to himself, will I or will I not? Like, it's public knowledge, so he could have, like anyone else, made content on it, but he decided not. And I was discussing with my better half, what I do. And we decided just to learn from all this, from all the big guys like SirGog, Gazi, Sidran. I think he's sick at the moment, so I haven't seen much going on from him. But he would have taken the same stance as Gazi, would be my understanding. I don't know these guys, just from watching them, that he would have respected GGGs and so on. Now, this is all still leaks. It may not be true. It may be true. There is rumors going around. The guy who released it said this is only 40% of what's going to happen tonight. There's nothing about a new class. Nothing about the end game. Which just makes me even more excited. So.
Of those, it is the same leaks. There haven't been any more of them since. Firstly, let's start with why these seem so credible. And that is because, unlike...
This is what I love about SirGog. His attention to detail. It's just so cool.
The things that were said earlier that made us think the Druid was probably in Act 4, and Act 4 was probably in, which it looks like only one of those might end up being true. There is a whole bunch of other information that is written in Grinding Gear Games style fonts. So, this is your last warning. Your very last warning. If you
So, whoever's at the jumping in, because it's just me and one other, if you want to leave, jump now. If you don't want to know about any spoilers.
If you are not interested in seeing leaks, this is the point at which you need to close the video. So, let's start with Interlude 1, The Curse of Halton in a Grinding Gear Games font. This was the image that convinced me these leaks were definitely real. We're not talking about something here that is a case of, you know, someone's made speculation based upon data mined information that may or may not be accurate. And when it comes to the things that were in the Day 4 video about the Druid and Act 4, it looks like it may be that the Druid was pulled at last minute. And the reason for that, the reason I think that's the case, Grinding Gear Games have definitely done all the voiceover work. So they thought that it was going to be in, they booked a voice actor to come in and do it all, and they've recorded all those things, but there's absolutely no coverage in this French publication of anything related to the Druid. So, let's go through some of the other things as well. Oh yeah, there's some other in-game images, like for instance, this.
Just so you know, I've fired in this video link into the chat.
Frozen spike support here, which is an example. There's plenty of these that exist, but there's a whole bunch of support gems that are around. But the key thing that we've got here, there are 8 or so different articles that were downloaded, and this is a Google translation of it from French into English. So the words of this are not exactly correct, and it is also possible that this is both incomplete. I definitely think this is an incomplete look at what's in the patch, and it's also possible that some of it is inaccurate. But let's go through having a quick look at some of the things that were put out. So firstly, we've got something that's a reasonably small one. Mercenaries, smoother crossbows and stronger combos. And here there's just
This is interesting to me. I've never played Merc before until I'm trying out KallTorak's build now. I'm really enjoying it. It's my understanding crossbow, it's getting a little bit of a buff. We'll find out tonight. But that's so cool.
a little bit of information related to some changes that are coming up with the crossbow. And again, if you want to see all of these, you can find them in the link on the YouTube version of this stream. There is a link to No Sheepherder 1161's Reddit comments page, and it's basically a bunch of posts there. These include a bunch of things that are definitely Grindy Gear Games images. This is not something that's come out from elsewhere. So there's a bunch of other information about things related to combos. Now, one of the things Grindy Gear Games have said prior to these leaks is that they wanted to make it so that individual skills that are currently kind of combo only, that they can be used as a primary skill. There is a reason you might want to consider this as a primary skill, but they'll also still be combos. So Shock is getting a longer duration, and then there's things like boost to the amount of damage dealt to shocked enemies by Plasma Blast, and a bunch of other skill balance things along those lines. Slows and freezes are going to last longer, and also abilities like Permafrost Bolts will take full advantage of this mechanic. A number of other things that are posted here, but ultimately this is not one of the major sections, and as a result, I want to go through this one quickly. I've got a question that's come up in chat that I think I'll jump through here straight away. Ernum is asking, did they add speed? Yes. Out of combat speed, everything that I've said, it's been a common complaint of mine. I think one of the worst things about POE2 was out of combat movement speed. The first thing they did to try and address that was the addition of... First thing that they did was trying to address that through adding in the checkpoint system. That made it less bad, but it didn't completely solve the problem. I felt like those checkpoints were like a 70% amelioration of it. But
I have to say, I agree with SirGog on this. The checkpoint's just like a plaster. It didn't really fix it. Now, I'm not a big PoE1 player. Probably played 100 hours. One character to 85-90, so I wouldn't have as much experience as SirGog, but I do remember Jonathan speaking about speed of POE2 versus POE1, and they were trying to address something, and they would try and get it into 0.3.0. So one of the leaks did mention some sort of new speed mechanic. Now, the general consensus, what I've read over the last 12 hours, is people are really not pushed by it, but also on the fence, because they're saying they haven't seen it, they haven't used it, so they're going to save their judgment, per se. So that's what SirGog is now going to go into now, I believe.
But there is a sprint mechanic that's been added. Essentially, this is a out of combat only movement thing. Very skilled players might be able to use it in combat a little bit as well. But the core idea is that when you dodge roll, when you're recovering from a dodge roll, if you continue to hold the spacebar or whatever your dodge button is, then you will continue to run at that point. And you'll run at a high speed. But, during this period, if you do get hit, then you're going to get knocked on the ground. So it's something that solves a lot of the problems that exist there. with that. Now, yeah, there are definitely concerns people will have, and hopefully, like my real hope, one of the things I think Mason is pointing out in chat that there's a possibility that range builds might be able to abuse this by using their skills while sprinting. This is the sort of use case that grinding gear games need to address through mid-league nerfs. This has been one of my biggest criticisms of POE1 POE2 lately, is that they just haven't had the courage to do mid-league nerfs, and then like 0-2.
And Jonathan has said that. He's confirmed that they don't really like doing nerfs mid-season based off backlash from the community. From my understanding is players that's put a truckload of hours into a character and then all of a sudden it's nerfed. But the community is kind of split from my understanding again. Some of them do want nerfs mid, just so the game is a little bit more balanced.
0 just becomes Path of Lightning Spear, because Lightning Spear, for some reason they buffed it 25% when it was a fine skill, and that took it from fine to just completely eclipsing everything else in the game. So that was a complete wrecking ball there. A couple of people are just mentioning with the Druid, like, disappointment that it's not in. I don't think it's confirmed not in. It's that one particular press outlet wasn't showing anything about the Druid. And so I think I think it could go either of two ways. Either Grinding Gear Games wanted to just keep that one completely to themselves and reveal it in their own time, or just in case there was a leak, or alternately, the other possibility is that it was pulled because they didn't feel that they'd completed it. So, yeah, we shall see exactly.
I agree and disagree with GOG here. I think there is a new class. Again, this is just speculation, me guessing. From a noob of Path of Exile, kind of. I definitely think there's a new class coming. But it's going to be the last thing they reveal, kind of as a surprise. And as I said, the leaks last night or yesterday supposedly is only 40%. So nothing about the end game and nothing about a new class. So it's still a possibility. And it could be a different class and not Druid. Because I know everyone is calling out for Druid.
Where this goes. So this is the things about the mercenaries. There's not a huge amount here, but there's going to be a number of improvements that are taking place to various skills. And I think that's one of the key things Grinding Gear Games are going for here, is that where there's a skill that feels bad, they're trying to make some buffs to it. That said, I do think there is a skill change that I do not like, and we'll come to that in a sec. And it's something that is going to be, yeah, like that's going to be one of those things where I'll have a take that I think a lot of people won't agree with on it. But I think that this, and in fact, we're going to get to that.
And that's why I like SirGog. He has these opinions because he's so knowledgeable. And he's kind of over here and the other, let's say he's on a podcast with 3 or 4 others. They're like, no. And they have this savage, cool debate. No arguing, no shitty terms, just proper debates. This is what I really like about SirGog. He's so knowledgeable. He kind of an outlier in regards to his opinion. I think what he's referring to there is you can use the same skill gem over and over, like a gem, but not on the same skill. So you can use, let's say, is it primal or whatever? I don't know what it's called. As I said, I'm a noob. I don't know all the gems off by heart. But let's say rage, right? You can't use 5 rages in a socket of a skill. But you can reuse it in different skills. I think SirGog doesn't like that. I'm not sure.
Now, I'm going to talk about the thing with the support gems changes, because these are huge. And also, one thing I'm curious about, people might have noticed that someone's just used the !leaks command over on the Twitch chat. Is anyone on YouTube? Does that actually work on YouTube? I don't think it does. I've got an auto mod set up to address that. But anyways, let's get to probably the single biggest change here, which is support gems. The one copy of each gem limitation is being removed. This sounds like a really good thing to a lot of people, and most people's first reaction to this has been extremely positive. Mine is actually reasonably negative. I want to talk about why. In Path of Exile 1, 97% of attack builds use one of 3 damage multiplier supports on their main skill. They use Brutality support, they use Void Manipulation support, or they use Elemental damage with attacks, or its Awaken version. So one of those is being used on every single attack build, save for 3%. This is a real problem, in my opinion, because what it means is essentially one of your support gems is not a flexible slot. It is that you are forced to use this multiplier on every single skill. Now in POE2, you didn't have this. In POE2, it was like, you've got something like Martial Tempo, which is a genuinely good support gem. It's the conversion of faster attacks from POE1, except it's better than faster attacks is.
Yeah, cheers, Ryan. Hope you're keeping well. What game are you playing at the moment? For anyone else in chat, I used to play D4 with him. We used to have some laugh. Great crack. So yeah, Vin, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I need all the luck I can get. It's a lot of work, a lot of learning, a lot of mistakes, and a lot of, you know, live and learn. Barkov, cool. Can I bully it into POE2? Just so you know, because a leak came out last night. So currently POE2 is in early access, and of course you have to pay for it. But for this next patch, so from the 29th to the 4th September, it's free. So I'd say a truckload of people are going to try it out. And what the beauty is, let's say you play it for 3 days, they're going to save your build. So then when it comes out in December or quarter 1 of next year, because they don't know when the full release is going to come out, let's say you go back to it because it's free game, your build will still be there. How cool is that? I thought that's a good thing. Good marketing strategy, but yeah. Oh, lovely. I must turn off this bot. Being there at the... my bot is at the removing your comment because it's too long. Oh, yeah. Hold on, let me see what the problem is. Again, something I'm learning. I've never used these chatbots before, so I don't know what setting. Oh, I didn't delete it. It's at the time in the outfit. Oh, yeah. Message too long. I need to figure this out. Okay, lengthy messages. Okay, hopefully that fixed it. So apologies about that, Finn. If you're still around, they're at the on you for 10 minutes. Oh yeah. This actually happened to my little fella last night because he was using 3 emojis at the same time. And this is what I meant, Finn. You kind of live and learn from mistakes. But honestly, great hearing from you. Hopefully get you into POE2. Because I know Wookie is going to try it out. And it'd be awesome. Get you on a stream and we all kind of game together. That'd be so much fun. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it.
Anyways, in POE1, faster attacks is something that isn't good enough to use anywhere, so it doesn't get used on main skills. It does sometimes, but almost never. In POE2, you're just going to have martial tempo. Every single skill is going to use it if it's an attack-based skill. Or alternately, grinding your game.
So this is what I was trying to explain. I couldn't think of one of the gems. Martial tempo. I use that with my monk build, my witch build. It is kind of a popular gem. What SirGog is saying is, let's say you have 5 sockets on a skill for all your skills. It's going to kind of push players to consistently just pick that gem over and over and over. So he disagrees with this. So I bet you on the Q&A tonight after the reveal, they'll big time chat about this. Big time.
Will have to nerf it to the point that other things become competitive. Likewise, you've got things like brutality support. There's a version of that. There's a whole bunch of these just plain numerical skill changes that some of them are going to be better. And that, I think, is going to be the real problem with this change. I don't think this is going to end up going all that well. It looks like from Jay's comment that the exclamation point leaks command does not work on YouTube at the moment. So yeah, I think this is just basically going to mean that we're going to go from having a bunch of support gems that you use because you have this additional constraint on you, to a bunch of support gems that are just traps for new players. There are a number of other changes being made to support gems, so we'll come to those because I think some of the other things that are good. But I do not think that the ability to use unlimited amounts of every support gem is going to be a good thing overall. That said, I guess we'll find out, won't we? I feel like this is just equivalent to saying, all right, 2 of your gems, maybe it's not exactly 2, maybe more than 2, maybe less than 2, but 2 of your gems are going to be locked into just being plain numerical increases on every skill. There are, however, some skill gems, some support gems that I think would be better to have available for everything. I'm thinking things like the various forms of multiple projectile supports. You probably want to have one of them on every bow skill. So, and likewise, there's a number of poison supports. Poison's in this weird spot in 010, 020, where you just don't have enough options there. So, a bunch of messy things that are going on there. The Gemling Legionnaire will definitely have to have some changes. Jay Gray's pointing that out in chat. There's a couple of things in the Gemling Legionnaire that are, like, if they're giving that to every class, then they've got to give something else in its place to the Gemling Legionnaire. Ultimately, I think that there's a model. For those of you that are Path of Exile 1 players as well, there are 2 different ways they can go with this. There's faster attack support, which in POE 1 is not good enough to use on your primary skill, almost ever. And then, but that is just a straightforward additional damage boost skill. The reason it's not good enough is that it does provide a boost to attack speed, but it's a smaller multiplier than you can get from other gems. Alternately, there are gems like Awakened Elemental Damage with attack support that are just miles better than everything else, or Brutality support, or Void Manipulation support. All of these are just numerically so good that they get used on pretty much every attack build, and also in the case of some of them on spell builds as well. So I think this is just going to end up homogenizing things unless those numerical things are made weak. If those numerical things that don't change the mechanics of the skills are just like, oh, here's 10%, here's 15%, then that's going to be different. I will definitely get to the sprint section in a sec, because the sprint, I think, is an ingenious idea. It's absolutely ingenious if they get it right. But we'll come to that once we go through all the gem stuff. So yeah, basically the key thing that I think is a positive is that there are some support gems that were mandatory for certain playstyles. So Ignite, Poison, not that Ignite was any good, but Ignite and Poison, Bleed, all of these you now can use multiple skills with a particular setup. That's a fix, but the flat damage gems are going to be a problem here. The ones that just provide a bunch of damage. There's also another thing that's being changed here, which
I'm just going to go to the sprinting part.
And unique monsters, and maybe even magic monsters, or maybe just magic monsters with certain mods would have a
to see
suppressed
what SirGog
movement speed aura. So your base movement speed might be 50% higher, and then when you're in one of these movement speed suppression auras, you'd lose that 50% bonus. This solution that they've come up with is something that gives you more agency, because you can pull it off in big fights as well. What you do, you dodge roll, and then while you're in a dodge roll, you can then hold the space bar, and if you do that, then you will be able to continue moving. The drawback to this is going to be that holding down the space bar is going to get uncomfortable, and I don't want it to be the default that you always do it.
I wonder how I'm going to set that up on a controller. Because dodge roll for me is right trigger. Because I can't understand what Gog is trying to explain there. Because I have tried to play this game with keyboard and mouse, but I'm just so bad at it. Constantly having to press spacebar. Yeah, we're just going to have to test it out on the 29th.
But the key thing is that if you get hit while you're sprinting, you're going to be knocked on the ground. I don't believe it's a heavy stun. I believe it's a knockdown. But that said, that'll get clarified. That will get clarified because it's going to come up in the next... it'll be asked a lot in the next day or two.
Cool. So that's SirGog's. Definitely check them out. Well, put the link in the chat again. 100%. Definitely check that video out. I certainly will. After today. There's going to be a lot of news coming around. Definitely check out SirGog. Such a cool creator. Next up is Troy. He had a cool podcast with Blazework TV. That's the gentleman you can see on the thumbnail. So this is Troy coming online after the leaks. Don't think you've seen it, sir. No, this is just the pod directly. He released 2 videos at the same time, so we'll listen to this a bit.
Special episode of the Still Sane podcast. I am here with Blazeworks TV, the host of the rival Passive Tree podcast, and we are going to discuss all things Path of Exile 2, the Third Edict. Before we get into all the sensitive information that may or may have not come out just moments before we went live, Blaze, my man, how you doing today?
Try, I'm doing so good, man. Before we get into it, I just want to say I love your content. I love what you do for the community. And I'm super grateful and excited to just sit down and chat about this game we love together, man. So thank you for having me. And this is going to be awesome. The hype is real right now, dude.
Has it been buzzing all day? I worked all day. I was really busy after work. I haven't even actually watched the official Grinding Gear Games teaser, but my phone was blown up. My Discord messages blew up. My server's going crazy. It sounds like some interesting stuff was revealed. Have you partaken in the leaks, Blaze?
Try. So I really tried my best to hold off because, guys, we're only a day away from this presentation tomorrow. But I'm a weak-willed man, and I can only handle so many people DMing me, linking stuff in my chat. And before I knew it, I caved in. So let's just say I'm up to speed on a lot of the things. We don't know if they're actually like confirmed or not, but yeah, I'm pretty much in the know of a lot of things that I probably shouldn't know right now.
Okay, okay. Very interesting because we are less than 24 hours away. I think we're about 20 hours away from the actual reveal as we're recording this. If you're watching this right now, it's probably the day of the reveal and you're trying to stall for time. So maybe, Blaze, maybe we edge just a little bit before we discuss the leaks here, okay? Because you are a relatively new content creator. I saw your content pop up on my feed. You were playing hardcore solo self-found. You've only had Path of Exile 2 videos, and something just drew me to you. And you actually reached out to me, I think, first. I can't remember what it was. My mind is a little jumbled right now. But you showed the initiative, which I really appreciate. I preach that all the time, that all you got to do is reach out and good things will happen.
Maybe I should reach out. Be nice to kind of talk to other people in the realm of streaming and content creation. Because I wouldn't have many people to discuss that. And the family want to discuss it so much. Yeah. I might take you up on that, Talkative Tri.
And man, your videos have been popping. You've been having a good time. How has Path of Exile 2 so far, this first 9 months, and content creation been going for you?
It's been going extremely well. I have to say, first and foremost, that the community within the Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2 community has been incredible. People like yourself, people like all of the wonderful creators that I've met over the last 7 months. I can't believe it's already been 7 months, dude. It's wild.
Cool.
Yeah, the community is everything, and it's really what actually like helped me extend the love for the game. I mean, it takes a certain amount of passion towards anything to kind of pursue like a YouTube channel or start putting yourself out there with regards to that. And so it started off with just being incredibly passionate for this game. I haven't been as addicted to a game as Path of Exile 2 since Diablo 2. I'm sure.
This is exactly how I feel. So I was a big kind of FIFA player. Just FIFA. And bought many games. Then I watched Day 9 TV and Fighting Cowboy play a game called Elden Ring. And I loved it. Played it consistently. Got 1,000 out of 1,000 achievement points on Xbox. Loved every minute of that game. And then D4 came out. And it was a free weekend. I tried it. Loved it. Never played an ARPG before. Then reached out to Vane, Blue Wing, Wookie, Mig. They were playing it. Started playing with them. Absolutely loved D4. Loved it. And then all of a sudden, like playing it for 2, 3, 4 seasons, and it was a little, there's Vane back. He'll agree. It just kept being repetitive over and over. So then I heard about Path of Exile 2. I went, let's try this out. It did fall hard. Now, people, a lot of content creators, Vane, were over in the States getting heads up on Season 10, which the PTR was released last night. And a lot of them are saying it's going to be a big blow up and it's going to catch up on Path of Exile. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's how I fell into POE2 and loving it. So as Blazeworks is explaining, as soon as a new season starts, it's like, oh, that's so cool. Cool, Vin. Yeah, it's such a good game. Like, it's polished. It needs a lot of work. Like, you have to remember POE2 is out 13 years. So a lot of people compare POE2 to POE1. But sure, there's 34, 35 patches, leagues out in POE1. So it will take time. But I think this 0.3 is going to be huge. It'll be huge. Can't wait for the full game to come out. So all 6 acts, more, better, end game. Let's see what happens.
we'll talk about Diablo 2 maybe a little bit during this podcast. But yeah, so overall, it's been fantastic, and I can't wait to see what happens in the future with it as well.
Awesome, man. And Path of Exile 2 was your first foray into the Path of Exile franchise, right?
Correct. Yes, I
Same.
barely touched Path of Exile 1. I could never get into it. But I did go back and play Path of Exile 1 for 3.26, and that was an experience for sure.
Yeah, I saw that there was a video on your channel that gained a little bit of traction comparing Path of Exile 2 to Path of Exile 1. If anybody is interested, it's going to be linked in the description of this podcast. But
So for me, excellent vid. Hopefully you get back into it. Definitely if you haven't purchased early release, you should be all over. It's free from 29 to the 1st. Definitely get all over. And that hasn't been confirmed. That's me going off a leak last night. I reckon that's what GGGs are going to do. But the reason why I really couldn't get into POE1 was nothing to do with the learning curve. It was like, there's no dodge roll. I was so used to it in POE2. I just couldn't get used to POE1. It wasn't even the graphics, because the graphics compared to POE2 is quite poor. As I said, it wasn't the learning curve, because crafting in POE1 to POE2 is like chalk and cheese. It's crazy.
if people are interested in your high level takes, comparing POE2 to POE1 as a first time POE2 player going to POE1, what do you have for me?
Yeah, so I mean, out of respect for how much I love Path of Exile 2, I had to go back and try Path of Exile 1. And what I mean by try is actually give it like a actual play through the whole game, beat the campaign, get to maps. I set a bunch of goals for myself that I wanted to do. And the whole goal of the video was essentially to showcase a pretty rare perspective, someone who's never really played Path of Exile 1 before, but has a significant amount of hours in POE2. So myself, I have like 1,000+ hours in POE2. I play specifically on hardcore solo self-found, and I wanted to use that experience basically to see how far I could get in Path of Exile 1 without using any build guides, without using any external resources. And I gotta say, it was actually a lot of fun. I intentionally rage baited a lot of people because I quickly learned that after any criticism towards Path of Exile 1, whether it was like meaningful or not, can rub people the wrong way, which I can definitely understand. But I think it was a super fair take on it. And yeah, honestly, I was like, I can't wait to go back. Like once there's a new league, I can't wait to go back and actually play the game and go down that rabbit hole with some build guides.
Which, if you compare this to Diablo, that's so cool. Because what Blazeworks is talking about there is, so we have patch coming out on the 29th for POE2. So there's a 4-month cycle. So they cross paths POE1, POE2. So it's like a 2-month cycle. It's so cool. So you're just getting constant new gameplay and so on and so on. So cool. That's one of my kind of favoritisms of GGGs over Blizzard
And stuff.
What was the thing you enjoyed most about playing POE1? I'm curious.
The thing I enjoyed most about POE1 was actually like seeing this is going to kind of sound weird, but seeing the stuff that could potentially make its way into POE2. Like Path of Exile 1 is jam-packed full of so much good stuff. And it was like, in my mind, even if POE2 gets a fraction of all this content that POE1 has, which I do believe it'll have in the future, it's going to be incredible. So it just got me like excited to play POE2 more, which is weird.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. We're really enjoying our time in both games, and hey, it's Path of Exile 2's time to shine right now. We're hopefully on a solid release cadence for these two titans of ARPGs. And before we get into Path of Exile 2, guys, just a little bit longer. Come on, just hold out just for a few minutes longer. You started POE2 hardcore solo self-found. I feel like maybe you played a game, an ARPG before that would have inspired you to torture yourself in this way. And really,
This is why I love Talkative Tri. He's a very, very, very good interviewee. So good. Such a cool guy. he's going to explode for this game. He's so good at bringing other content creators together and asking really good questions. Like, he recently did an interview with Jonathan, one of the head guys of GGG's. It was an awesome interview. He prepped so much for it. I'd love to actually chat with Troy. I was just talking to him on Twitter. Well, talking when I say I replied to one of his tweets. It's his daughter's birthday today. So he had a row. So pretty cool. Nice guy. Really cool guy.
Really go hardcore. Have you played any other ARPGs in the past, Blaze?
There's a game I like to talk about
Okay.
on occasion
Okay.
called Diablo 2. And admittedly so, I've been playing that game for about 20 plus years. And so
Cool.
I was never the biggest like hardcore like player in that game in terms of like the actual game mode, but that is the game that made me fall in love with ARPGs. And Diablo 2 and Path of Exile 2 actually have a significant amount of stuff in common, as I think you realized after you kind of dipped your toes into it recently.
I did, yeah. It was shocking. The initial character chat. A leak.
So I'm just going to scan a bit. I just realized it's near 5 o'clock. And this is just my first stream. I'll be back on later around 8 o'clock. And there's another video I wanted to quickly have a look at from KallTorak. Because that's the chap I'm following his build. Which is why there's the bot is telling you about it. That's who I'm using for the build. So he released a video, I think, late last night or this morning. I want to have a look at. And then I'll finish this stream and then I'll be back on later. So let's see what the guys talk about in regards to they think a new class is coming or not.
That I got from my brother. Tell me it isn't so, dude. The leak said no new class.
So just to confirm again, the French media outlet that mistakenly let the leaks out, they said that was only 40% of what's going to be revealed tonight. So my gut feeling is GGGs are saving the last surprise. Like, you know, when you wake up on Christmas morning and open all your presents and there's one sneaky one in the tree, I reckon GGGs are going to hold off and say, yeah, new class coming. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I reckon there's going to be a new class.
Bull or not? Like, what do you think?
Oh, dude, I don't think that's true, man. But this might be copium. Like, I really hope that there's at least one new class. I don't know if it's going to be the druid, but I was under the impression that there was going to be something new. I thought I saw a leak towards axes, which would maybe lean in the direction of marauder. But yeah, that's rough if your brother's.
So Marauder, why that got bit of legs is there was a small little patch on Steam, and I think the server side files had MP3s for the Mordor. So how real this is or not, I don't know.
Dropping that on you, man.
Oh,
Holy.
right. He's like, no druid, dude. It's not happening.
Yeah.
It's the worst. So, if they don't do a class though, I mean the existing stuff coming in has to be pretty wild. If you read through all the leaks, there's no class. What is your highlight in terms of balance changes or character customization changes? Because we'd assume then all of their resources were diverted, just touching up existing skills, ascendancy class, all that stuff. Was there anything that piqued your interest or a few things?
Well, try to be honest with you, I think, and I kind of share this opinion with a lot of people that you've talked about, and I think you've spoken about this as well. Like, if I had to pick whether we were getting a new class or new content in terms of like an act or something like that, I definitely am leaning towards the side of act, just because it just introduces so much more content to the game, which we desperately need more of. And
Agreed. Playing Act 1, 2, and 3, and then playing it again, but it's more difficult. I didn't really like that. But what's supposedly happening now is we're definitely getting Act 4. So you play through 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they kind of have linear tasks to get to level 60 to level 65, so endgame, and you have like different zones you have to go to and fight bosses and so on. So that sounds cool. But again, this is just rumors from the leaks.
I think it fleshes out the end game a bit more. So if that is the case, I'd be okay with it. But I know that a lot of people, their draw card is experiencing the game through the lens of a new class. And so I really hope that it's both, to be honest. But yeah, like I want the game, like the axe, to be like the priority personally, because yeah, it's just going to make the game experience better for everybody. Another leak that we could definitely talk about was actually a thing called interludes, which is essentially what they're introducing as a replacement for Cruel. Did you hear about this in chat at all?
In chat, they were telling me about it. It's like 3 mini acts. Really?
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Oh boy.
No one likes playing through the campaign on Cruel, right? Like that is something that people are constantly complaining about, myself included. I love the campaign so much. I have so much fun doing all the bosses, all the zones, but running it back a second time, it's just not it, man. And I know that's a byproduct of just being early access and stuff like that. But so what they're introducing as as part of leaked information, what they're supposedly introducing is this sort of bridge to the end game that's not Cruel. It's sort of like these mini acts. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about that in terms of its replacement to Cruel?
Me personally, I think that's a savage idea. I think it introduces 24 bosses. Again, I'm just guessing, going off memory. But yeah, that sounds super cool. So I'll leave that one there. There's a link to it. I'll be definitely watching that in bed later on. So yeah, check it out. So here's KallTorak, gentleman in the middle. Also has a pod with these two guys, and he has one coming up with DM, which would be awesome. So let's check out.
Hey guys, KallTorak here. Today, I want to talk about what I've been up to the last month, why I haven't been uploading as much, my plans for 0.3's league start, and we're going to be talking about some of the leaks and some of the cool news and stuff. Part of the reason why I haven't been uploading on my channel is because I started a new show. Myself, Miso Shiro, and Dead Rabbit started a podcast called the Path of Exile podcast. It is live every week over at Miso Shiro.
To be honest, I've only started watching these pods. They're very good for players like me who are not experienced enough. Ben, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Hopefully see you in the realm of POE2. Enjoy the rest of your day, pal. Talk to you. Thanks again for the follow. Very much appreciate it. Cheers in. So as I was saying, yeah, this is a great pod for similar players like me who can't make their own builds per se, but they follow other people's builds. These guys kind of try and teach you the mentality of building it from a foundation up and learning those kind of different routes within the skill tree, and it's pretty cool. KallTorak seems like a pretty young genius when it comes to IT. I think he's a developer, has his own development of a game. So, really like this fella.
Channel, and it's a build making podcast where we talk about everything build making. Since we started that podcast, it's been kind of weird to try and find a way to make videos for this channel without overlapping with the podcast. I'm gonna have to do a better balance of that later. If you're watching this video the day it came out, though, that means that the announcement for patch 0.3 is going live today. Myself, Miso Shiro, and Dead Rabbit are going to be co-streaming our reactions to the announcement, and then the moment the Q&A ends and we have the patch notes, the three of us are diving straight into the podcast. So, if you haven't seen the podcast, it's just...
So, if I don't tune into Rax doing that, I might tune into that. Sounds like a plan.
It's going to be a super fun patch notes podcast, and I hope you guys show up for it. What's even more exciting, though, is this Monday, August 25th, we are going to be having Darth Microtransaction on the podcast. I don't know if you guys have actually watched the end of my videos, but if you make it
DM is in my top 5 content creators. So, you have Day 9 TV and Crew. I've been watching them for years. They're old school. Amazing gamers, but so easy to listen to. Kind of what I'm trying to be inspiring to be like. Long way to go. But they're so easy to listen to. Very cool streams. Then, as I mentioned, Fighting Cowboy. Then you have Rax. And then you have DM. DM is so cool.
to the end of like 90% of my POE2 videos, they end with this. Apologies to Darth Microtransaction, we ran out of time. Apologies to Darth Microtransaction, we ran out of time. Apologies to Darth Microtransaction, we once again ran out of time. Apologies to Darth Microtransaction, we once again ran out of time. Apologies to Darth Microtransaction, we once again ran out of time. Apologies to Darth Microtransaction, we once again ran out of time. When I was editing my very first video for Path of Exile 2, I ended up watching a video from Shroud, and during it he said that the only way you can get popular and big as a creator today is to start crap with people. You gotta call them out, you gotta get into drama, you can't be popular by being wholesome or just good at the game anymore. And while part of what he said you can debate, when he said that, I immediately thought of Darth Microtransaction.
Excuse my French, but fucking too right. DM doesn't dog on anyone. He's just him. Has to crack with his chat. Super knowledgeable. I actually watched a cool stream between himself, Gazi, and one of the founders of Path of Exile, and it's amazing. Like, I have to find it. Hold on. Here it is here. I'll put it in chat. It's awesome. And I'm only around an hour and a half in. It's so good. Like DM and Gazi just don't say anything and let the guy speak. And it's such a cool skill. Excellent VOD. You should check it out. So I agree with KallTorak here. You don't need to shit on anyone. Get famous. I certainly won't. I'll be happy 1-2 reviewers. Just being me.
Someone who didn't do that. But when Shroud said that, it reminded me of how Jimmy Kimmel, when he started his show, he initially started calling out Matt Damon. And it became a little long-running bit on his channel that he's done for years. And I just kind of like, as a whim, put that little joke in at the end of my first video, and it's just been running this entire time. I know Darth Microtransaction is not technically coming on my channel. It's over on Miso's channel, but I still thought it was kind of cool that...
No, it is. It's yours. It's your
this
stream.
quickly, I'm getting to sit down and chat with DM. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. This Monday, come check out the podcast. He has announced that he is going to be playing every single Ascendancy in this next patch. He's going to be making build guides for them, which is why I'm super excited to have him on. You know, we're a build making podcast. We really want this podcast to help people just be a little bit more encouraged to trying builds, give people ideas and like routes that they can do it themselves. So having DM on is just huge for this. I can't wait to talk to him about
you
build
ever see
making.
this?
And the other reason why that I haven't been uploading lately is just because last month we've been coming closer to finishing our next game, Card Quest. For those that don't know, I am an indie game developer. I've been doing this for about 3 to 4 years now. I own my own studio with one of my friends, and we've had a long journey with game development. And yeah, the last month we've just been cramming in to finish our next game, Card Quest. Soon I'll be releasing a video talking about my journey with game development. Recently, Chris Wilson, formerly of Grinding Gear Games, has started a YouTube channel where he started talking...
Again, I tried to show my little fella this video. If no one knows, Chris Wilson, one of the founders of POE, and actually why I got early release. I'll tell you how much I spent on it. It was because of him and Jonathan and how passionate they are about the game. It's unbelievable.
About game development to hopefully encourage people to get into game development. And I want to start using my channel to do the same thing. If you guys think I'm passionate about POE2, well, I'm like 1,000 times more passionate about game development. Whenever you get me talking about game development on stream, I just cannot stop. So soon I'm going to have a video coming out just talking about how I got into game development, my journey from making games in game jams to starting our first Steam release that turned us into a 3-year early access hell to spend.
So just say is now if anyone's here. I think it's just me, but what can you do? I went back to college as a mature student, did computer science for the first 2 years, then started struggling with coding, so jumped to IT management. But this kind of reminds me of a project I did with, shout out to Mark and Rob. These two were geniuses, so good at coding. But yeah, that's what kind of throwbacks memory watching this.
Spending 1 month making a horror game to scare our friends, and then eventually how we got to Card Quest, this 3D sim about opening cards and then selling them at your local convention center.
So cool.
So yeah, that's another reason why I haven't been uploading lately. We've just been focusing on the game while I had this break before 0.3. Okay, so now we're getting into the leak section. I'm not going through all of the leaks. I'm going to be saving a lot of that for future videos and stuff. Now, a few things to talk about. These leaks are pretty much hard confirmed. And apparently these are about 40% of the leaks, so there's way more coming. Again, I'm not going through all the leaks. I want to talk about 3 things specifically, though. First, it looks like we are getting a sprint mechanic. It is pretty interesting. This is the only thing from the leaks that I am like a little bit nervous about. It is an out-of-combat movement speed tool that lets you maneuver better, I guess, around the campaign. I don't see this having too much value in endgame. It does mention that you can get stunned when you're using it. You will get hit while you're sprinting. You will fall to the ground. This just sounds really gross on paper.
I agree. When I read this leak, I got super excited because until you get around 35% MS on boots, it is a bit slow, a bit quicksandy. And you have to remember, I don't really have much experience of flying around like Silver Surfer in POE1. But I agree with KallTorak and SirGog that when you're using this new mechanic, you can be knocked over. Oh. It'd be interesting to see if this is showcased in the reveal and they discuss it. I'm really interested in this part.
I'll have to play with it and see clips of it to really give a full judgment, but yeah, so like it doesn't sound clean to me. This is the only thing from the patch notes that I'm like, I don't know if like this is going to be well received. We'll have to see. Like, there's no footage of it. It just talks about how when you dodge roll now, when you've been out of combat, if you haven't taken a hit, jeez, or you haven't used a skill, you're just gonna have this.
Okay, so it's not just me. KallTorak, 17,000 subscribers, a lot more experience than me. Messing up words. That was just me. Now I feel a little bit better.
Sprint mechanic, and I don't think this is the right solution to the movement speed problem people are having, but this is just me talking without having seen it in action. It's hard to know without actually playing with it. But this was the only thing from the leaks that I was like, ugh, I don't know how I feel about this. Moving on to the support gems. This is the one that I find the most funny. We recently on the Path of Exile podcast talked about how we, in a sense, kind of enjoyed the restriction of only having one support gem per your loadout, entire loadout. How, like, there's just not enough support gems in the game to, like, really push you to being creative right now. And, I was finding myself using support gems like Embitterer and like all the fun ones because of these limitations. My concern is that it's going to be just like all of these skills right here. Like you have Lightning Arrow, Stormcaller Arrow, Lightning Rod. Like they're all gonna like ultimately be using like Concentrated Effect and like all the super damage juicing ones that are just like obvious, right? And then like it's only the last two support.
So if we just take into consideration the 3 YouTube videos we're watching, they're all under the same consensus that it is decision to allow the same gem be used over and over on different skills, not on the same skill. It's gonna push players to pick the overpowered ones, and there's not going to be a variety of different builds. Be interesting to hear Dreamcore's take on this, because he, from what I've seen of him, he always picks a build that no one else picks, and I love that about him. It's cool. So
support gems that end up actually being flexible. I ultimately assume that I'm not going to have a problem with this system. It seems like there's no way it could be bad, right? Like I don't imagine I'm going to be walking away from utilizing this system and being
right, guys, I need to be back. Toilet break. 2 minutes.
I'm a bad little chick with a body on me, like no ring, ring, ring. Never met a girl like me in his dreams. Lit like big with a face on me. All the bad boys trying to get with me. No ring, 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 but they ain't got them hooked like me.
I bet don't do it. The morning calls, baby, you know that I won't pick up at the moment. I left the flowers right at your door, 'cause it's the only way I show you that I'm sorry.
I'm really just giving you a call because I haven't talked to you all day. So, when you get this message, could you, please just give me a call back?
It's time to let you go. I'm not pretending that I'm really busy hiding the truth. That connection, that connection. So condescending, just forget it. I got nothing to lose. That connection, that connection. Girl, wake up.
Bad little baby, oh, I'm hot like tea. I'm a bad little chick with a body on me, like no ring, ring, ring. Never met a girl like me in his dreams. Lit like big with a face on me. All the bad boys trying to get with me. No ring, 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 but they ain't got them hooked like me.
Can we make it stop? No shot. We done are still cool. 'Cause you're lying and pretending when the blame is on you. Baby, I'm not sorry. I get why you're still waiting. My love for you is fading. I don't even know what's on your mind.
Now, at this point, I've been calling you 4 and 5 times. Could you please call me back? This really makes no sense. I don't understand what you're doing. Call me back. Call me back. Call me back. I keep calling.
It's time to let you go. I'm not pretending that I'm really busy hiding the truth. That connection, that connection. So condescending, just forget it. I got nothing to lose. That connection, that connection. Down, it's better you know. Down, get ready to go down. That connection, that connection. Down, it's better you know. Down, get ready to go down. That connection, that connection. Girl, wake up.
sorry about that, guys.
happy. I'm just curious if GGG was a little bit too quick to pull this trigger. Maybe a couple more patches. Maybe we needed more support gems, but maybe GGG knows that they're really not adding many more support gems. You know, in my head, if we added another 100, 200 more support gems, this would be.
Okay. That's a pity. Where's the camera stop walking?
So take it from me, I got some places I should take you to see. You know it's easy when you ride with a G. Light speed, moving fast through the city, trying to find me some peace. I finally lived to be the guy that I was dying to be. Still I got some trust issues, people lie through their teeth. The more I grew, the more they hide in the crease. Squad building, weak members get released. If we trying to compete, starting pitchers need relief. Bro, we building a team, everybody got a niche. I've been known to play mine to a T, but it's time for me to lead, picking dirt right out the cleats. Steep path, roadblocks in the streets, trying to knock me off my feet, cause the devil never sleeps. So I don't sleep too, and trying to breach safes that I didn't have the keys to. We all been victims of trauma we ain't agreed to, but the sun comes after, starting up a new chapter. Isn't it lovely? I ain't looking back and focus on what's in front of me. Everybody dates a number, but I'm still here luckily. I know that God got me, so I'm in good company. Isn't it lovely?